Je pense qu'il est temps. Je sais pas ce que t'en penses, hein. Mais je pense qu'il est temps. Avant de tout me balader, d'aller tirer une balle dans un cadavre. Et poulet par ici. Ah bah attendez, on m'appelle. Et bonjour. La fille fixe le voilier accosté sur l'appontement. On dit la cabocharde.
I'm Cindy the fucking skull.
The fucking Peaky Blinder.
Birth, blood type. The last time I was tested for Hep C.
Ah dis donc, baise un ton, la loi c'est moi. Non, on va peut-être pas faire ça. Mais commençons par ton groupe sanguin, on verra où ça nous mène. Non vas-y, la loi c'est moi là.
Pigman, art is above the law.
Regarde son assurance, elle pose son pinceau. Ils ont quoi les gens ici? Ouais, ils sont sous une drogue inconnue. Hein. C'est quelque chose sur la récente pendaison là?
Snitch, pigstein.
Poulaga.
Go forth and forage in someone else's.
On veut la poulaga? Elle pisse le nez.
Shortage of squealers in these parts.
Vous êtes tous des malades ou quoi?
There is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
C'est vrai qu'on est en manque de personnes gentilles en fait. On est juste en manque de personnes sympathiques. C'est juste ça en fait.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
Pardon? Du con. Ça va pas ou quoi? Arrête pas de regarder sur le côté, qu'est-ce que tu regardes là? Ah oui. La droitarde.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features.
Mhm.
The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That was on her. Someone's
siffle.
got to keep an eye on her.
Pas très gentil ça. Je vais parler de Joyce.
First name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world.
Attends, c'est quoi Ozone?
It's where
À part un
they
groupe.
will pause like her and their whoremen.
Pas gentil, hein. Pourquoi autant de négativité?
You got a crush on her, aching for an opportunity to defend her honor.
Les gens sont malades. Qu'est-ce que tu fabriques avec ce mur?
You tell, I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit.
D'accord.
I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
Une petite idée à ce sujet, ça t'intéresse? Je vais devoir t'arrêter, c'est du hooliganisme.
Be realistic. What are you going to do? Climb up there?
Je vais lui casser la gueule.
Like your partner, Piggy, I'm unstoppable.
On se reparle plus tard, Cindy.
Ungulate, you've got eyes on you.
D'accord. Tous les yeux sont sur moi, du coup. Attendez. C'est quelque chose d'incroyable, là, vous vous rendez pas compte. C'est une dinguerie. Vous connaissez la dinguerie? Franchement, là, vous vous rendez pas compte. Bon. À l'intérieur, le cadre d'une moto en réparation, les outils utilisés pour la désassembler. Appartement Capside. Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, rond-point nord. Bon, on va rentrer. On va rentrer, on va lui casser la gueule.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building.
Je frappe.
The door rattles against your knuckles.
Je frappe de nouveau.
The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
Madame, c'est la police. Ouvrez la porte, s'il vous plaît.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
Ce n'est pas une plaisanterie.
No. I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east.
Et Kim, dites-lui que nous sommes des vrais policiers.
I assure you, we are real police officers.
Real police officer, hein. Oui, oui.
There is no reply. Just faint, sweet.
Bah, je me casse. Bon, on va passer de l'autre côté alors. Ah, on va tirer dans un cadavre. Hein. Vous l'attendez? Vous l'attendez? Vous l'attendiez? Le tirage dans le cadavre. C'est bientôt. Et pendant ce temps... pendant ce temps, ça pourrit. Alors... Ah, attends, il y a... Oui, bonjour. Un balcon donnant sur la cour. Et le pendu. Eh, monsieur! Ma gueule, il me dit de passer par là. Mais... Ne vous moquez pas de moi?
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
Dit d'une voix posée, malgré le froid. La chemise est déboutonnée. Trop tard, jeune homme, les ennuis vous ont trouvé.
I don't have time for this. I just want to finish my cigarette and be gone.
Flic.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
En fait, la police a vraiment besoin de vous parler.
Really that important?
Vous demande-t-il en ajustant sa chemise.
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Vous avez une très belle vue sur la cour arrière du Whirling, on dirait. Vous pouvez m'en dire plus sur la pendaison?
I go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of what...
Mon cher gendarme?
Remove the body as soon
Mon cher gendarme.
Now tell us, where were you last Sunday?
Oh. You're...
Il agite sa cigarette nonchalamment. Vraiment? Regardez Kim.
No, not you two. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Le lieutenant prend des notes dans son petit calepin bleu.
Last week? I don't know. Look.
Il observe à nouveau la cour. De vieilles chaises de jardin et des plantes d'intérieur flétries jonchent les lieux.
Actor declaiming a soliloquy. See how you hang on his every word.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
Il
I had
soupire.
a friend over.
Quel genre d'ami?
Who's my Sunday friend?
A Sunday friend. How intriguing.
Quel est le véritable nom de votre ami? Il a vu quelque chose?
Doesn't reply. Gesturing no with his cigarette. In the windows, you
Exactement.
can see faint reflections of his silhouette from different angles.
Vous pouvez me dire votre nom?
Name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Martin Martinez.
Martin Martinez, good local name. Let's go with that.
Bien, parlons plus tard.
No.
Ah, il tire une dernière bouffée de cigarette puis l'écrase sous le balcon.
If you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
17% le convainc de rester. Allez, on tente.
Time to bring out
C'est bien évidemment raté.
tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Throw yourself before his very feet like a dog.
Qu'attendez-vous de moi? Vous voulez que je me mette à chialer, c'est ça?
For God's sake, I don't want you to cry.
Un pas en arrière, est-ce que les alentours visiblement perturbés?
Listen, I really have to go.
D'un geste du poignet, il propulse sa cigarette éteinte par-dessus la rambarde.
There it goes. Wasted. You would have gotten at least a few good drags.
L'électrochimie, c'est vraiment la pire.
Good luck with the investigation.
Il s'éloigne.
He's gone.
Le lieutenant range son calepin et se tourne vers vous. On devrait se lancer à sa poursuite.
Running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself.
Donc on laisse tomber.
He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. There has to be a way of getting inside the building. Let's go check out the door near the pier again. Once we found a way in, we can ask around for his apartment.
Super, alors c'est parti. Mais je peux toujours pas y aller. Non. Bon. Est-ce que... Attention. Est-ce qu'on va voir les gens au port? Ou est-ce que c'est le moment de tirer sur le cadavre? 10 sur 10 à chaque œil. Évident. Tire. Un cormoran solitaire regarde la mer, il reste indifférent à votre approche. Saute. Oui. Bien sûr. On va un peu tout regarder vers le rond-point nord. Faut cliquer, monsieur, faut y aller, hein. Faut... Appartement Clepside, appontement de Martinez. Très bien. C'est ma petite visite, hein. La publicité, il est écrit fenêtre brisée, type répare, type remplace. Et il y avait mis que non. D'accord. On va aller voir ce monsieur qui a l'air tout à fait charmant. Est-ce qu'on va quand même dans la librairie? Vraie question. Quelque chose ici, tiens. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oula. J'entends les cris des mouettes au loin. D'accord. Tunas. Nous avons 8 thunes. Pas mal. Bien mais pas top. Ça va. Voyons le vent. Ah oui, les messieurs là, ils sont... Je me souviens de leur histoire, c'est... Bon, librairie ou pas librairie? Est-ce qu'on va à la librairie maintenant? On peut, hein. On peut faire librairie vieux monsieur. Enfin, je vais déjà faire les vieux monsieur, parce que je les aime bien. Ça va être quelque chose, hein. Les zooms et tente de ménager. Let's go.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
L'autre était en train d'engloutir un énorme sandwich.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never.
Le pire flic, hein, désolé. Hein. Vous allez voir ce que vous allez voir.
That's the spirit. Don't even waste your breath asking about the game. They wouldn't know anyway. They're way past their prime.
Appelle la boule et leur faire une démonstration. Bien ça. 97%. Bien sûr, c'est réussi. Sûrement mort si j'avais pas autant. Attends, mais il est en train de faire un lancer de poids là.
Surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter. You'll make it work.
Un lancer de poids, frère.
This is right. You feel the familiar tremble of excitement and adrenaline that precedes every victory.
On a un problème. Il joue à la pétanque et il est en train de faire un lancer de poids là. J'adore ce mec. Je sens la boule.
Metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it. Probably a sponsored ball. Yours would only be covered with bumps of learning and scars of victory.
Je sens bien la boule.
Already your muscles are adjusting to the weight. The nervous system calibrating until you
Comme boule. Je suis la boule de Fort Boyard.
into a single entity.
J'examine les alentours.
The breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the only thing left is the union of man and ball.
L'homme et la boule, il ne reste plus que ça. Il y a encore du temps pour une ultime introspection, qui suis-je?
Embodiment of pure motion, a fine-tuned locomotor running at maximum efficiency.
C'est pas plus difficile de compenser l'inertie que ça ne l'est qu'avec une balle de revolver. Relax, la balle, c'est toi. On s'est réussi. Sauf que c'est la pétanque.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
Bordel de merde!
What the problem.
C'est parfait. Plutôt pas mal ce triceps droit.
Don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful.
Je ressens de la colère, et j'ignore pourquoi.
Vandalized our game, son. We can't play paix-tank with 5 Boule.
À la paix-tank?
Yes, paix-tank. You ruined our paix-tank game. We want our Boule back.
Récupérer la boule.
Take it
L'abruti de service, vraiment.
This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No harm done.
Gaston, il est incroyable. J'adore ces deux personnages parce que plus tard il va se passer des trucs.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You
Et quel con.
goddamn
Ah, René,
fool.
une putain de boule. Oh, devez une putain de boule. Ah, je vais essayer d'arranger ça, monsieur.
Mistakes are forgiven when men at least try to right
Ah bah merci.
I believe you will try. Now, why did you approach us?
On dirait que vous jouez dans un cratère.
Yes. The
Moche la tête.
provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
C'est en rapport avec l'impact des balles que j'ai pu voir dans le coin?
Yes. It was left by heavy artillery fire.
D'accord. Un cratère causé par un tir d'artillerie. Mais pourquoi?
Why what?
Et pourquoi l'artillerie a-t-elle été utilisée?
That's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home.
Seconde, c'est qui déjà les communards?
These communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality.
Attendez monsieur, mais vous êtes en train de me dire que vous avez déjà tiré sur l'artillerie?
No. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked.
Ajoute-t-il, en serrant une boule dans son poing.
Should have fought dirty. Like
Genre de boule, quoi.
this suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't so, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
On aurait dû choisir un endroit loin de la population et des bâtiments.
This place is a damn beachhead, son. They had to soften the commies up first.
Tête de pont.
Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta.
Des îles au nord-est. Hocher la tête de manière pensive en regardant vers le nord-est.
Is blood ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out.
Regarde le sol.
Most likely, we're playing paix-tank on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Ah, ça explique toute cette destruction.
Right, son. They laid the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too.
Étrange lueur traverse son regard.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still hold influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Les cocos ne comprennent rien à l'économie.
No, they don't. But I'm sorry it had to be the coalition. After 8 years of fighting rabid commies, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains,
Il prend une grande inspiration.
I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Fouissel had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio.
Il soupire.
This is just what the commies wanted. This was the plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
Si, ce fricelle. Pardon.
He was a king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown.
Le vétéran se frotte la poitrine.
He died in the hands of the Hyperlay, in a very public execution.
He slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting they left the king to the
Vous avez parlé de Guillaume.
The king in both blood and mind. Led Revachol before Fricelle. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him into exile.
Some manner of self-deceit is present in his thinking. Sounds like this Guillaume abandoned him, and he doesn't want to admit it.
C'est quoi exactement un suzerain?
Suzerain is the king. Has everyone forgotten already?
Depuis lentement en se parlant lui-même.
They've forgotten already. It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
An extremely inadvisable strategy against automatic weapons. Be sure not to make the same mistake.
Pourquoi ces soldats l'air si fiers? 42%.
All you
Putain.
veteran refusing to let go of the past and
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in service of Fricelle the
Abusé, 42%, j'étais trop chaud. On voit loin des 3 ou 7% quoi.
Before him.
Don't you mean Fricelle the fan?
Fricelle le fripon.
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown. But he was our clown, ours to ridicule and to mourn.
there's something you missed. You will get to it. Don't worry.
Je ne m'en fais pas. Est-ce que vous savez quelque chose au sujet de l'homme pendu dans la cour à l'arrière du bubuis? Il hausse les épaules.
Like most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement, but this affair has passed me by completely.
Et la plupart des gens du coin?
The union is the law, so can you really blame them?
Vous n'avez aucun problème avec les flics?
Is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
Donc encore une fois, vous ne savez rien du tout.
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me.
'Tis true, sire. He knows nothing.
Merci d'avoir pris le temps de répondre à mes questions. Petite boule quoi.
Wow, you work hard.
Ah bon?
Oh, yes. You hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide.
Faut croire, ouais.
Oh, yeah. Like a horse, a workhorse, for hard work.
Et c'est quoi les efforts que je fournis au juste?
Yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum. After that is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. You ride.
Ouais, à la vie à la mort, gros.
That's just what it's like. Life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco-Negros and the Solas. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop, and a sprinter, and a money printer.
Palpe un peu, c'est vrai.
Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now, are you rich?
Ouais, carrément.
Get out of here. You're a pauper. You work harder than anyone. Almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that?
Oh mon dieu, le dérapage du flic. Il y a un créneau pour les flics corrompus, mais les flics immigrés ont cassé le prix du secteur.
The immigrants are cool. The immigrants play cool music. Everyone likes them, especially the women. Don't hate on the immigrants. They've got nothing to do
Le pire flic.
under a boat.
Le pire flic. Les impôts, mec, ça craint.
Right, 100%. Fucking G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze.
Vin de vrai quand j'éternue.
Every time you wipe your ass, they got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax, alimony, one tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus there's the stuff people in other countries pay for that makes them ask for more money from you. Here, total tax duties add up to 98% of all your money.
Je suis désormais un fondamentaliste du libre marché.
Hustler, fight the righteous fight. Free the people. Keep it real. Keep it street. Keep foaming at the mouth fury.
Oh mon dieu.
On the...
Je ne suis plus de droite. J'ai trompé. Oui, mais comment je fais? Ouais, c'est là. Moins 2 d'empathie. Ah. Parfait. Oh non, il devient de gauche. Nickel. Pas l'intérioriser. Il reste encore 2 heures. Ça. On va attendre alors. Pas intérioriser, pourquoi? Faut que je déverrouille un nouvel emplacement. Ah d'accord. Ah, oui. Ok, je vois. On fera ça. Là-bas, une boule. Intériorise le gauchisme. C'est en cours. D'énormes boules, dignes d'un homme. Un vrai. Une histoire de boule. Remarquez la forme technique et fissurée l'asphalte comme la vieille rue qui d'œuf. Les dégâts ont l'air d'avoir été provoqués par un tremblement de terre. Bon, bah c'est l'heure. Hein. On va aller buter le cadavre. Ça n'a pas de sens. Shoot that body. Ah putain, Kuno dans toutes les VOD.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots.
Yes, we do.
Ouais, vous devriez tirer pour le faire descendre, il n'y a pas 36 solutions.
He breathes out heavily.
Oh yeah, do this shit! Fuck it up!
Une seconde, laissez-moi essayer.
Lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He appears too deep in concentration to even notice what you said.
Tirez, lieutenant, qu'est-ce qu'on risque?
Take it!
Yeah, take the shot. Kuno wants some of that shit.
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
Descendons, ce fils de pute.
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as...
God damn it.
Vous avez déconné, lieutenant.
A lot of things were wrong with that shot. The fellow's desk was the wrong choice. His shoulders were raised, but above all, he cannot trust his eyesight.
Fucking idiot! Mukabat asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
Mais bordel, reprenez-vous!
Officer, it was an honest mistake, and I will not repeat it.
On va essayer peut-être.
We are lucky as it is. We didn't break anything, and the victim remains uncompromised.
Oh, j'aurais dû le faire. J'aurais dû le faire, bordel.
Any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. We have eyes on us.
Maintenant?
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
J'ai raté.
You don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself.
Je peux essayer de tirer pour le décrocher.
As it is, us shooting firearms like punks here. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Just don't hit the victim.
J'ai besoin de votre arme pour ça.
Have one gun.
Oops.
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen.
Officer, why do we only have one gun?
Je pense que quelqu'un m'a piqué mon flingue, on me l'a volé.
Really unfortunate. You need to contact your station about it as soon as possible. Try not to lose this one, please.
Prends le flingue.
You fucking banana boy.
Je vais tirer dans la tête de l'autre là.
Yourself in the mouth.
J'évalue d'abord le poids de l'arme.
Cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger. You've held this, an A9 armistice, before. At some point, it probably used to be your choice of firearm. It's
The fuck are you waiting for,
Yes.
Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth.
Pointez l'arme vers la sangle.
the buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Pointez l'arme sur Conones.
Set me free!
Don't.
Sentez la main du lieutenant se poser sur votre épaule.
Do it!
Oh putain. Ah, je pourrais, mais bon. T'emmerdes, petite ordure.
Right here!
Ah, j'ai envie, mais attendez. Ah, je peux pas sauvegarder. Bon, tant pis. Je pointe l'arme vers la sangle.
Yeah, copper.
Save, je peux pas.
Could waved his gun! It wasn't intense, it was pathetic!
Ferme-la. J'ai répondu à la provocation. Je ferme d'abord l'œil gauche.
Of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, catching the noon light as the corpse slowly rotates.
Look, he's crying! You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
Bon. Une chance sur deux, quasiment. Enfin, un peu plus, mais... Ça va le faire. Yes.
The buckle explodes
Easy.
in tiny pieces, coming loose with a whir. With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slump down. For a moment, the man appears to kneel in front of you, looking straight at you, helpless, trapped within itself.
Qui t'a tué?
Communism.
Merde.
It takes a millisecond for the association to flash within you,
Alors en tant qu'opticien, presque,
where it's
je peux dire que la vision binoculaire marche pas vraiment comme ça.
right. Then the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
Fais-moi le malin, hein, petite merde.
You, Kurpale!
Malgré ces mots, son ton est plutôt festif. Tu as été pacifié. Pose mon zinc. Pose mon zinc. Maintenant, lève sa main droite dans l'espoir que vous la frappiez.
Aces high, a custom invented by the aerostatic brigades during the revolution, is used to celebrate success in Revachol, especially in sports. The gesture is spread across the world, despite the defeat of the revolutionaries themselves. You could add an aces low to it, if you like, by turning your back after the high and waiting for another.
Bah non, je lui mets pas devant. Je le frappe dans la main et j'attends un tapement zinc.
The high arrives with a sharp slap. As you turn around, there is a moment of doubt. Feels like that low ain't gonna connect.
Ah non.
Chill. It's gonna connect. But then it does, and with furious precision. The lieutenant is not one to leave an aces low hanging.
I knew these guys were
Honteux. Maintenant.
Perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before... Excuse me.
Il a besoin de se détourner du cadavre.
On the ground like that has not improved the way the corpse smells.
It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just a little breather before we do the autopsy.
Une seconde, une autopsie sur site?
The 4 phases of a murder scene. 1. Investigation of the scene. I can't say I'm fully satisfied with that part.
C'est vrai.
We should search for prints, maybe.
Désigne la boue autour de vous.
2. Initial examination of the victim. We were pretty good in our efforts. 3.
Hâte de faire l'autopsie.
This will not be pleasant or easy, and it will have to be performed on the scene.
The fuck are they on about?
Cops are gonna cut his shit up next.
4 and final, transport of the coroner's case to the district morgue.
Non, ça s'interrompt.
God, it stinks.
IG.
Good. In
Je
the
rends son arme.
we should try to interview Evrard Clare, the leader of the union. Harbor property was clearly used in the hanging. The harbor just east of here. Getting in might prove a challenge, though. I would also suggest we interview Joyce, the Wild Pines representative. But we've already done that, so good for us. One down,
Ça-
one to go.
C'est la fameuse liste d'interrogatoires préalables. Je hoche lentement la tête.
The interviewees. Let's go.
Let's go. Attends, moi je veux cadavriser, voir.
The rotting man lies on his side, with his eyes looking straight through you. The belt is still around his neck. His body is supine and open
pas du
to
tout.
intrusion by autopsy.
Et Crénin. Crénine, Crénin, comment dit-on? Bonsoir en tout cas, bienvenue.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Peu importe. Oh ça va, t'es pas chiant? Ou chiante, je ne sais pas. Cool. Bah, je devais t'appeler Crénine, si ça te va. Bienvenue. Comment va? Crache le morceau, le macabre. Crache le morceau. Meilleure autopsie. Et crache. Lequel des deux t'a tué, l'amour ou le communisme? Hein? Oh, ça va, ça va. Ça va bien, ça va bien. T'as dit que l'amour t'avait tué, mais en tombant, t'as dit que c'était le communisme.
Misquoting me, Rooney. I said communism killed me.
Juste.
Love did me in. Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features.
Tu découvres le jeu
If possible.
Oh, attends.
Also,
Oh, qui termine.
see me in your dream.
Non, c'est ma deuxième partie. Je l'avais fait il y a... peu de temps maintenant. Mais je l'ai pas refait depuis la mise à jour où il y avait eu tous les dialogues redoublés. Donc je connais à peu près tout ce qui se passe. Enfin, à peu près, non. On a juste fait un autre perso ensemble avec le chat la dernière fois qui ne correspondait pas à mes stats. Donc là on est parti sur un truc assez dégueulasse, avec 2 et 1 en psyché et en intellect respectivement. Comment dire que c'est l'aventure, hein. Voilà. Sachant que j'avais dans ma première partie beaucoup de psyché et d'intellect. Donc comme ça au moins on est... Oh, c'est la merde, hein, on va pas se mentir, hein, c'est à chier. Hop là. Tapement zinc. Oh, putain j'ai le tapement zinc aussi. Plus 2 d'empathie. Ah non moi je veux pas d'empathie, moi j'intériorise. Allez hop. Adios. Adios l'empathie. C'est quoi une autopsie sur site?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
Je fais une paire de mon latex. Faire claquer vos mains gantées. Il est temps de se salir les mains.
Truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
D'accord.
I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes.
On remplit juste ça, exact. Montrez le formulaire d'autopsie sur site rouge de votre registre. Alors j'ouvre le formulaire d'autopsie sur site de mon registre, hein, bien sûr.
In silence, as you crack open the ledger, the bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists. describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with...
On va commencer, assistant. La première question, et je sais déjà. Je n'écris rien alors.
Corpse lies there, indifferent to your retrograde amnesia. The next box says...
2. Dossier du médecin légiste. Numéro...
Dash.
Tout ça.
803.0815.
Il me le bro quoi. Je prends note. 3, non.
NA. Next.
Date de naissance.
NA.
Âge.
Roughly 50.
Environ 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Ethnie.
Mondial.
Je prends note.
Pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sexe. Il n'y a pas assez de jeux dans ce style, me dit Crénin. Ou Crénine. Hein, je dis Crénine, pardon. Ouais, bah c'est sûr que c'était assez particulier. C'était déjà un ovni disco quand il est sorti. Il y a je sais plus combien de milliards, je sais plus, de mots. Et c'est quand même très particulier. Hein. Il y a Citizen Sleeper qui est sorti il y a pas longtemps, qui ressemble un peu à ça. Enfin, qui ressemble un peu à ça. Qui est un peu dans ce style point and click, histoire en branchement, on va dire. Mais c'est pas aussi poussé, et c'est qu'en anglais. Sexe du cul s'exclame la petite diablesse enthousiaste. Mais c'est vrai que oui, c'est un ovni, comme on dit, hein, bien sûr. Non, c'est un jeu très particulier. Hein. Et clairement, tu as raison.
Mail.
Ça le rend unique, c'est ça qui est beau.
Pigs can have sex.
Oh putain. J'écris quoi? J'écris du cul, masculin ou ça baise un poulet? Ah, excusez-moi, un pire flic. Hein.
Naively, the lieutenant does not double-check your notes.
Date du décès.
We're still going with March 4th, 51.
4-03-51.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
Oui. Ah, merci Kim. C'est gentil.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
Preuve de traitement.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
Quoi exactement un traitement?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
J'en suis pas si sûr.
A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-Delorian burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then...
We should start the post-mortem.
Je tourne la page.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Essayez de retirer les bottes, mais il y a Kim, mais je vais les avoir ces bottes. Examen externe synthèse.
The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
Bascule le corps sur le côté pour vérifier l'étiquette des sous-vêtements.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
On note.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward.
On va les avoir ces bottes.
Removal
J'en
of
suis.
boots is left for processing.
J'ai envie d'y croire. J'ai envie d'y croire.
Clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
Le pire flic, ne pas mentionner les bottes.
Tattoos.
Il reste stoïque, les pieds plantés de chaque côté du cadavre.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white.
Mhm.
The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Je prends note.
The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Je prends note.
Athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing.
Idem, c'est un bon cadavre.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness.
Comment ça, un début de calvitie? Oh. Caresser les cheveux du cadavre avant de partir, c'est weird, j'adore.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
Ah oui, lui caresser les cheveux avec douceur.
The stench is suffocating.
Perflic, perflic.
Brown hair starts sticking to the latex of the glove.
Perflic.
Thread of a rag doll's head.
Bien sûr.
There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Il y a un accent français pas... en fait, vu que Reva, Scholl, Col, on sait pas trop où ça se passe, c'est pas vraiment sur Terre, il n'y a pas vraiment de pays qu'on connaît. Il y a des choses qui ressemblent. Kim, je sais pas. Par contre, les vieux papis qu'on a croisés juste avant, ouais, il y en a un qui était franzosisch, hein, clairement. Hein. On va pas se mentir. Kim, je sais pas. Je m'avancerai pas, mais peut-être, hein, c'est fort possible. Je vais continuer de caresser, bien sûr. 100% bi, tu dis aïe, pardon, je me suis pété le genou, tout va bien. Aïe, je me suis pété la main, tout va bien. Un vrai paysage extraterrestre.
For a fraction of a second you feel something, an irregularity, but then it's gone. Too minute to register in your mind.
Papy, c'est du franco-allemand. Le papy, c'est du franco-franco, hein, j'ai l'impression. Avec Monsieur la Boule. C'est quoi ça, une bosse?
What was what? Brilliantine. There's brilliantine in his hair.
Prendre note en ajoutant la gomina.
Is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Mais les accents du... Enfin, oui, les accents du jeu, la culturosité. Ce mot n'existe pas. Très bien représenté dans le jeu, je trouve. On y croit, quoi. Kuno, là. Accent anglais incroyable. Fucking Peaky Blinder. On y est, quoi.
Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
C'est plus la merde, Kuno. En toute amitié.
On the face, scalp and chest. Consistent with predation.
Prendre note, mais corriger pour vitesse élevée. Allez. On est gentil. Le lieutenant sort un petit couteau de poche. S'appuyant de son autre main sur la sangle, il commence à trancher le polyester. La puanteur est épouvantable, et au bout d'un moment, il apparaît évident que la sangle est impossible à sectionner.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the bell so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Heureusement que nous avons cette pince coupante. La pince au poignet en caoutchouc. Ouais, différence. Caresser la pince coupante. Et comme je suis préparé, on va faire préparer.
Lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
La même chose, en fait.
Always good to think ahead. Now.
Désigne la corde enserrant le cou du macabé.
We need to cut the bell to see the ligature mark below.
La ligature.
With
La ligature.
precision as you can.
Let's go, Kim.
My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
C'est moi le poulet.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Ouh. Oui, je suis le poulet de Kuno. Faut pas que je lui réponde, sinon ça va être la merde, parce que là j'ai que 42%. Je vais chercher le meilleur endroit où couper.
Is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck. swelling over the edges like white bread, rising from the...
On veut être le pire flic, mais on veut quand même réussir l'enquête.
The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutter
Ah, c'est mieux.
there. Steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
Let's go.
After
Ça fonctionne.
you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the
Je veux que cette enquête soit ma dernière.
ligature mark around it.
C'est vraiment fort probable.
Rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
En note.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact.
Le domaine, il se protubérant. Il baisse le sous-vêtement du défunt.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Bien sûr, nous sommes et consciencieux, nous allons examiner les parties génitales du défunt.
Dead man's penis is average sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Tout ce qui est plus normal en somme. Je prends note.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but
Peine à retourner le corps sur le flanc.
there are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
Je prends note.
Item, hands.
Il saisit la main droite du défunt pour l'examiner avant de passer à la gauche. Non, je vais le laisser travailler.
Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle.
En examinant le poignet. On était censé en trouver?
Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Je prends note.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Il s'est tourné sur le côté pour prendre une bouffée d'air, mais c'était pas suffisant. Il enfuit son visage dans la manche de son blouson. Vraiment, ça pue. Examen interne? Allez.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
Je peux me permettre d'ajouter une morale à cette histoire. Il vous regarde d'un air inquisiteur.
Dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
Le cerveau supporte très peu les compromis en matière d'afflux sanguin.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer.
Le lieutenant laisse échapper un sirictus. Je vais écrire...
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Bon appétit, bien sûr.
Cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
Ça va pas.
Hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarked
En
respiratory
note.
system.
Le dos voûté. Comme lors d'une prière, il commence à forcer l'ouverture des mâchoires du défunt. Il s'interrompt pour exercer davantage de force en se servant de ses deux mains.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
Inspectons la bouche du Maccabée.
Scream. No sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Oh bah on va regarder un peu plus loin, hein. Ah, ma santé a été compromise. Je me soigne, calmons-nous.
Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking.
Délicieux.
Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess of meat and darkness.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
Répète le lotement d'un ton impatient. Il relâche la mâchoire, la bouche se referme en claquant devant vous. Je prends note.
NA.
Pourquoi on n'a rien?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
On contemple l'estomac du cadavre avec un mélange de lassitude et de dégoût. Je ne crois pas. Et c'est tout? Ok.
For toxicology and serology.
Les deux?
You have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
Le perfectionniste en moi me demande si on pouvait pas encore faire autre chose.
Toxicology screening. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine.
Brimming with cocaine.
J'ajoute analyse toxicologique requise.
Body exhibits lividity in the lower extremities, feet, hands, and neck, visually consistent with the hanging.
Bien évidemment. Nous prenons nos notes. Nous prenons nos notes. Souffle-t-il avec un certain soulagement, c'est la dernière étape sur la liste. Il regarde autour de lui le sol, l'amas de matière fécale.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voilà.
Voilà. Je brièvement le bas-ventre pour souffler du cadavre. L'écrire en gardant le voilà.
What's next on the list?
Description des blessures, synthèse.
We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 feels. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Ok. Trace de morsure.
Chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
Soit description de cases attendent d'être cochées. Avis, blessure moteur, blessure non mortelle. Affligé post-mortem. Sûrement post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusion.
The scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Je l'ai noté Kuno, TKT.
At maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Bien sûr, blessure non mortelle, infligée post-mortem.
Next.
Marque de ligature.
Where the braided ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured. The cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Je prends note.
2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
Blessure non mortelle infligée post-mortem. D'un coup, le lieutenant se mure dans le silence.
Why do you say that?
Je suis sérieux, je suis pas sûr que cette blessure soit la cause de la mort.
Why don't you think it was fatal?
Parce que j'ai déjà fait le jeu en fait. Pourquoi il avait pas les mains liées? Un grand guerrier comme ça, moi je lui aurais attaché les mains en conduisant au gibier, non?
Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on his wrist. That part got blurry for me. The stench. But you are right,
Ou la
I
bouche.
was ready to call this. Now I think we should leave it empty, at least for the time being. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce...
Yes, l'autopsie s'est déroulée comme sur des roulettes. On a presque vomi dans la bouche du cadavre, mais ça c'est tranquille. On a assuré ou pas?
An irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy. But, personally, I do not see this as a parameter for success.
Il est rabat-joie le Kim. Hein.
We also requested
On a assuré, déjà qu'il m'a mis un vent.
That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky.
Le streamer qui backseat du passé, le streamer du présent. Ouais, c'est un peu ça, ouais.
We
L'autre
thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
Peut-être qu'un petit verre s'impose. Je veux dire, plus tard.
You see, that worries me. You will die if you drink. You know that, don't you? You are proving a useful detective. The organization would miss you.
Parfois fort bien dommage. Et maintenant?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Déchirer une copie des pages d'autopsie. Il jette un dernier regard au cadavre, puis au feuillet rouge entre ses doigts, puis à nouveau au cadavre. On rappelle les conneries que j'ai notées. Hein.
Tilt your head, also looking at the corpse.
Putain, je peux faire ça. Je vais fouiller méticuleusement le cadavre une dernière fois. 72%, c'est 100%?
Your arms
Yes.
out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh.
Yes.
The latex.
Que c'est...
It's right. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around.
Allez, on y va. Les doigts dans la bouche. Let's go.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop.
Putain, je vais pas jouer avec la... Mais merde, mais pourquoi on me propose des trucs comme ça? C'est pas... J'ai cliqué!
Freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile, even through the latex. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums, and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Je vais perdre toute ma vie là-dessus. Ouvrir les yeux et regarder.
Vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate. You see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
Putain, j'assure.
Keep going.
Kuno nods, too. He takes a step closer.
Touchez doucement avec le doigt.
Black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Je mets le doigt à l'intérieur.
Index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
The fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
Commencez par toucher ce qui est autour.
Nasal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex.
Je suis content de vivre ce moment-là parce que j'avais pas fait ça dans ma première partie. Et je sens que c'est très textuel, mais c'est surtout très visuel.
This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Merci, conceptualisation. Enfoncez encore plus profondément la main.
Yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
À dire que j'aurais pu mettre les doigts dans le pif, quoi. Il y a une cavité juste entre les hémisphères.
With the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
La voix de Kuno s'étouffe. Putain, ça va être mon pote Kuno. Enfoncez encore plus profondément la main. Il y a encore de la place?
Fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but
L'enfiler comme un gant.
isn't
Oh
wide
putain.
enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Let's go.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down.
Qu'est-ce qu'on va trouver? Putain, j'aurais pu me mettre les doigts dans le pif, là.
Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the
Merci, affinité mécanique. C'est pas si mal que ce soit textuel, quand même, hein. Et ça a quand même pas mal d'impact. On va d'abord inspecter le crâne, tiens.
Tiny crack. A protrusion in the cranium. Right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it. From the inside.
Pire flic, mais très bon flic quand même.
The object that is in there stopped just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture.
Du coup, j'avais pas trouvé ça dans ma première partie. Pour moi, j'avais dit qu'il était mort asphyxié.
This is the irregularity you felt before, the one that was too tiny to register consciously.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
Allez, let's go, on l'extirpe. Là, je rate. 3% de raté. C'est possible, hein. Flic Balekman, c'est un peu ça. Hein. Et hop là, qu'est-ce que c'est?
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
Sortir doucement les wads.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower. A blossom made of lead.
Fucking beautiful.
A bullet.
Le lieutenant sort un petit sac avec le mot preuve écrit dessus. Et c'est tombé la balle dans le sac.
The bullet falls
Tu peux les vomir maintenant?
leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-calibre rifle.
Un non-calibre?
Little alloy. Fractured on impact.
Tu peux l'avoir?
Of course, you deserve it.
Le lieutenant pose le sac dans votre main. Il est léger.
To add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Je me contente de hocher la tête.
Fatal injury.
Je suis d'accord.
And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
Et dire que ton frère va faire veto et il risque de faire des trucs aussi dégueux, mais IRL, ouais, oui. Certaine manière. J'espère qu'il aura pas à chercher des balles dans des corps d'animaux décédés, ça serait vraiment terrible.
he's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
La marque de strangulation, l'os hyoïde fracturé, tout ça c'était du traitement.
And the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Il était mort de chez mort.
Dead, dead.
Je suis d'accord.
I had my doubts for a while now, since I saw there were no signs of struggle on his hands, and no claw marks on his neck. There have been other signs too, small things. We were right not to assign hanging
Yes.
as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them.
Je crois que j'ai besoin de me laver.
You really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Peut-être que la balle nous apportera plus de réponses aussi.
We should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
Oh, quelqu'un ferait ça.
The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
On fait quoi?
Put him in a bag and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. The body bag should contain the odor for the duration of the transport.
Très bien.
I would drive him to processing, but it's too late to do that today. I'll do it first thing tomorrow. No problem. One more.
Trop bien.
This was really good work, detective.
J'essaie de retirer les boîtes du cadavre.
Decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus.
Damn it. This is turning into some sort of mega puzzle.
Je tente à nouveau de retirer les boîtes du pendu.
Decided to leave it to process.
Damn it.
D'accord.
This is turning into some sort of
Bon bah let's go.
There go the
J'aurais pas mes bottes.
enamel
Putain.
bones. May they rest in processing. Oh well, in another lifetime.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
C'est dommage. Ouais, mais série préférée? Série télé, tu parles? Oulala, tu lances... Oula. Attention, c'est dramatique. Hein. Le dernier top que j'ai fait... Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, 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 no. Ah si. Ah, c'est quoi mes 3 séries préférées? On part sur les 3. Dans l'ordre décroissant... On va dire les 2. Ah merde. Ah non mais ouais, moi les séries... Attends YouTube, t'auras pas besoin d'entendre ça, t'es content? Il est content.